Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun episode. We're going to be reviewing X-Men 19. Check this cover out too. That is a super sweet cover. Got a bunch of our X-Men fighting the Brood. And before we get dived into that, I do want to let you guys know about the 600 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving away this Marvel #1 variant. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel, and that'll give you a chance to win. As always, we'll be going heavy into spoilers for X-Men 19, so if you don't want to be spoiled for the issue, that's your warning. Next up, we always shout out the creative team, because without the creative team we wouldn't have a comic, right guys? So on X-Men 19 we have Jerry Duggan is the writer, Stefano Caselli is doing the art, Federico Blee is doing colors, Clayton Cowles is on letters. And there is a foreword here, and it's not too big a deal. Basically, we start, and Forge and Monet are thinking about going into this alternate. It's one of their portals in Krakoa, and these portals can like kind of transport you from one planet to another. They can take you really far, right? Well, they apparently put one of these portals on a ship that then descended into a black hole. Best way to describe it. And for whatever reason, Forge is a curious scientist. He wants to see what's on the other side of this. And Monet's like down too. She wants to go with him. So against the advice of others, they basically head through this wormhole. And as we see, they're kind of as they go through, it starts to get pretty crazy. They're falling through who knows what, and kind of seeing a lot of different things. And Forge says this might have been a mistake, and Monet says, "You think?" And then we jump into where the X-Men are, and the X-Men they're fighting the Brood right now, and they're trying to rescue Cyclops' father. And as we see, a bunch of Brood are just everywhere. Super awesome art going on. And we got, just beating up of the Brood. Great tag team right here too of Firestar and Iceman. Two different, one's freezing them and the other's burning them. And then we see Jean and Magic, who don't seem to be with the rest of the X-Men. They're on the same mission, but separately they're trying to find Brew, the leader of the Brood. And they're struggling to find him. They're both just kind of teleporting around trying to track him down, basically. And then we see Cyclops, Sync, and Wolverine, the one that's just been saved, so like 1,000-year-old Laura Kinney. And they finally find Scott Summers' dad, and he's in a bad way. He's actually been infected by a Brood, kind of a la Aliens. It's in his belly and it's growing and it's basically killing him. And Sync's like, I know Cyclops, keep the Brood off of him. And Cyclops says, you two are just gonna remove the Brood? And Sync says, don't worry, after 5 centuries together in the vault, most of the time when we were playing Doctor, we were actually playing Doctor. And we see her, she's like making the incision, keep his mind detached. We have no other way to sedate him. And so they both basically work together, Sync using Jean Grey's powers of telekinesis, and Wolverine just, using her claws to kind of cut the guy out, and they get this guy out, and she she gets bitten. Laura Kinney gets kind of bitten by the guy. I don't know if that's going to be something later, but that kind of makes her angry, and she slices him into pieces. And this whole time, Corsair is just super hurt, and so they need to evac him basically. So they're trying to get him evac'd, and there's Brood on the way out as they're going. As you can see, they're kind of telekinesis dragging him with them, and they get outside, and they're like, Cyclops is like, Iceman and Firestar have been busy, and he's like, and we hardly made a dent. I heard where the Brood were aggressive, but this is ridiculous, says Firestar, and Cyclops replies, we'll wear ourselves down fighting them forever. Iceman, cover us. And Iceman says, one ice fort's coming up. And so they're kind of inside this ice disc, and ask if Sync can, or you know what I'm saying, like an ice shield that's been created to protect them from the Brood. And Iceman asks, Sync, can you give us a stepping disc out of here? Which is like, can you use magic's powers? And he says, I could, but... And Laura Kinney replies, but Everett is rapidly aging every time he reaches for a power not within arm's length. And so, kind of bombshell now that Sync can use powers that, you know what I'm saying, that he's kind of retained, and they're farther away, which he's been showing, but we're finding out now that it actually rapidly ages him. So that could be something for the future. And so, Sync replies basically that he's by saying, I was going to say I could use Ilyana's powers, but right now I'm still holding together a bunch of Corsair. But Laura's not wrong. I still would do it in an emergency, but I'm worried I'd kill Corsair. And Laura Kinney says, this is a nightmare. As Corsair replies, yes, a nightmare. I was bait for the trap you're in, that we're all in. But we're not dead yet. And then we go back to the story from the very beginning. It says, nowhere in unknown space. And Forge is like, I feel weird. Or no, excuse me. The girl he's with, she's like, I feel weird. And Forge is like, yeah, me too. We have two bodies down here. And he turns one of the bodies over, and it's actually him. So he's like, the girl asks, are we dead? And he's like, no, we're not dead. They're both still alive in catatonic states. We must just be detached from our bodies. And as she turns to see something, I'll show in a second, and she's like, you'd better come see this. And he goes, wow. She says, you ever see an area of space that looks like that? And he says, no, nobody has. At least from our universe. As we get, I don't know, for first cameo, I guess, of whatever giant head space floating thing that is. Feel free to leave in the comments down below, like what, you know what I'm saying, what you think it is. If you think it's anything, yeah, I'm curious. I'm not sure. It looks like one of those Guardians of the Galaxy, like where they lived in nowhere, or what. I think that's what it's called in that. But so maybe it's kind of something related to that. All right, so I don't know. This one was fun. There was a lot of action. I kind of like how they're building this relationship too with Laura Kinney and Sync, and how they, you know what I mean, they've been together now 1,000 years. It's kind of interesting. delving into that. I'm having fun with X-Men. It's definitely been a fun run. Um, I don't know what else I have to say. I don't know if this is particularly a jump on point. It's just kind of another issue going along. Maybe it's like uh, just a take a break issue between next arcs, and the next arc might be starting with the next issue. That seemed to be what was going on. Was just kind of building some pieces and stuff. So yeah, maybe an early start to a new arc, I guess. But yeah, I have fun with it. The art, as always, is super fantastic. Um, Colors were amazing, and I really love the line work on this one. It just, X-Men has always been one of my favorite titles, and I do like too. They're recently going with kind of this focus on Cyclops, and they made me like the character, and it's just interesting. He's being written well by Duggan, and I'm enjoying it. So I give X-Men 19 a thumbs up. Been a fun run. That's what I have today, guys. Remember, if you watch this far into the video and like this kind of content, like, comment, subscribe, helps the YouTube algorithm. Spread me out in the YouTube space. As always, we'll see you guys next time, and have a great day.